welcome back to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at The Hobbit, Chapter 9, Barrels Out of Bond. And this chapter starts with Bilbo and the other 12 dwarves getting caught by the elves. Didn't take long, and they're actually lucky they got caught, because they were starving, and even though they went into jails, they got food and they got water. Of course, the king of the elves wanted to know what they were doing, but they didn't say anything. Bilbo didn't get caught because he slipped on his ring when the elves started to appear, and he disappeared. And then he followed them and snuck inside this elven fortress. Now, while the dwarves were in prison, Bilbo stayed invisible the whole time, and he just snuck around, stealing some food, listening to the conversations, and trying to figure out a way to get the elves out, or not the dwarves out. And this happened for several weeks, it sounds like. I don't know how long he was wearing that ring. But after communicating and telling all the dwarves and everything what's been going on, they find Thorin. Thorin, of course, who we know has already been captured, but the others didn't know. And so then Bilbo told Thorin about what's going on, and he told the other dwarves. Everyone was happy. And he said, I'm going to think of a plan. We're going to get out of here. Well, one day, as he's trying to figure out what to do, he hears the chief, what do they call him? The chief, not cook, maybe chief butler, who took care of the food of the king, and there was going to be a huge feast, and he had like these really good bottles of wine, and he was talking to the chief guard who had the keys to the jail cell. They were talking together, drinking, and boom, they fall asleep. What luck. Bilbo steals the keys, and he tells the dwarves, hey, we're making a break for it, and we're going to go inside these barrels and float down the river. The dwarves don't like that idea, but they don't have any better idea. So they all sneak down to where there's this underground river underneath this mountain fortress. There's no way to get out because it's protected by magic. This river is the only way. So Bilbo takes the dwarves, puts them in these barrels, and he seals them so that way they don't fall apart or water doesn't get in. Then Bilbo hides. Some other elves come, they throw these barrels in the river, and then these barrels start to float down the river, and Bilbo jumps down and grabs onto one. This is a terrible, terrible ride because they're going down. Oh, I said raft rider. I should have said barrel rider. They're going down this river. They even, I think, go underneath like a cave down underneath the land. And Bilbo's just holding on to this one, and it's rolling around him, and he's trying to get up. Finally, it escapes in open air. He manages to climb on, and the elves kind of gather them together, and Bilbo just hides as they build up the rafts. Or they build all the barrels together and make a big raft. They stop somewhere, and they start to eat at night, and Bilbo is used to like sneaking around and stealing food. And he goes to sneak and steal some food, but even though he's used to being invisible, he's soaking wet. So as he's walking, it's like dripping and leaving footprints around. And so the elves kind of notice him and chase him off, I believe. And he falls asleep, and he wakes up, and the rafts are leaving, and he runs and jumps on the raft again, and that leaves us with the next chapter. But some vocabulary words here. The first one is halt. Halt means stop. The elves halted them, perhaps. Surly is angry. The dwarves are very angry, so when the king and the elves talked to them, they answered very surly, angrily. Dreariest is tired, uncomfortable. Plight is a danger, kind of dangerous situation. Portcullis. This is a gate with bars. If I were to draw it real fast, feel free to Google this. This is much easier if you just Google portcullis. But it's a gate and it has bars going down, and maybe it even has like these arrows. And so you have doors, all right, to a like a castle, but you can open up those doors, and there's also a portcullis, so you can maybe see through them and talk to someone, or even shoot an arrow through these. Okay, this is a portcullis. So this was blocking the underground river, I believe, and then they opened so the water could get through, but no one else could. But they open it so that way the barrels can go through, and then they close the portcullis. Throve is like lived. I think we say thrived is a past tense of thrive, but in this book it could be British style. Says throve, so don't know, but past of thrive. Flutter is feeling this excitement. He had a flutter of joy, perhaps or this kind of feeling of a butterfly going inside. Sensible notion. This is more of again British style. Means a good idea. We don't usually say notion is idea. Sensible means good. Eddying is swirling. So the river, as it's flowing, the water is kind of swirling and making these swirls in it. Ran aground. This means floated until it hit the land. So think of a boat. If a boat is in the water and it hits the ground, it's run aground. And so it's actually kind of stuck on the ground. That leaves us with our discussion question. If you were the dwarves, would you get inside that barrel? Okay? If I told you, and we could go back to prison, we could have food, water, and stay there for hundreds of years, I guess. Or you could try to escape or die in this barrel, jumping into the water. Oh man, what would you do if you were the dwarves? Would you follow Bilbo's plan? And of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.